All right. Anybody want to talk recovery or anything like that? I don't know. Maybe this video will be cool. Maybe it'll suck. You know me. I'm Nathaniel Bagley. Nathaniel's Insanity. If you don't know, I'm in recovery from massive addiction to drugs and alcohol. I started using drugs when I was like 12, snorting Ritalin and smoking weed soon after. I went through hell a lot of the time. I'd like to share some of my stories with you all. I think of a lot of them while I'm driving. I can't think of any right now though. But recovery is possible. I'm a little over 6 years sober. The last time I shot anything up was bath salts, and that was a little over 6 years ago. When I first came into AA, I thought I was gonna kid everybody by pretending to be sober. I wasn't drinking, but I was shooting bath salts and shooting Molly. Not gonna lie, I fucking miss shooting Molly. It's not very good for recovery talk, but that was literally was my favorite thing in the world at the end. But it broke my brain, man. It broke my brain. All the stuff I did just destroyed me. But yeah, 6 years in recovery. Like I say, when I first came in, the first 3 months I was still using and shit. And eventually one day I decided, a lot of people in my AA meetings and stuff know this story, but it was 3 months of faking sober. I was also eating a lot of Coricidin and cold pills and robo-tripping constantly because I was on bail conditions. They couldn't test that. I decided one day, this is how powerful addiction is and alcoholism is. I went next door to my friend's house, Carol, who is dead now. She was an alcoholic. She froze to death, drunk. Froze to death in her house. But I went to her house and I decided I was like, hey, I'll have a shot. I had a breathalyzer at my mom's house, who I was forced to stay at because I had no home. But I had a breathalyzer there. I had to breathe in twice a day, but it was midday, noon. I had breathed in it in the morning. I didn't have to breathe in it again until like 8 or 9. And I was like, I'll have a shot. So I took a shot. And that shot turned into quickly 1, 2, 3 shots. And then 4 shots. And then I was like, oh, fuck. Now it's too late for me to be able to pass the breathalyzer. So I called up the state trooper, who was my kind of overseer of my breathalyzer and crap, and I was like, hey, I got a job, man. I got a job. Landscaping. I don't know what I told him I was doing. But I was like, I'm not going to be able to be home to breathe in the breathalyzer tonight because we're finishing up what we're doing now tonight, and I'm not going to be there in the morning to breathe in it because I am going to be working in the morning. He was all psyched. He was like, oh, good for you. You know, you got a job. Good for you. Moving on with your life. Cool. He was very happy for me. And so I proceeded to drink all friggin' night. I drank like half of my friend's half-gallon of Rock Gut Black Label. I don't even remember what it's called. Black Velvet whiskey. Drank a 6-pack of Twisted Teas. Some other crap. Grabbed my mom's car and drove to the next town over right before the shutoff date for buying alcohol. Bought some more alcohol, and my plan had been, I'll just pass out at Carol's house and sleep on the floor. Well, the thing is, she was a worse alcoholic than I was, not to compare, but she would literally emaciate herself and lay on her couch and do nothing but drink whiskey and wine. And she couldn't even get up. She'd just twist her body over and she'd let it go on the floor. She'd piss all over her floor and then just turn back and lay down. And that's rock bottom. That's like friggin' Jesus. Homeless person, alcoholism, but she had a house. Anyway, I was sitting there and I was like, I can't sleep on this floor. I somehow had the wherewithal to be grossed out, even though I was like almost blacked out drunk. Went home the next morning, and I went home from her house, and it was like almost 7. I'd been up all night, and I walked by the machine, and it went off and said beep 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 beep. That's the noise it makes when I had to breathe in the breathalyzer. And I turned like Pavlov's dog. I was trained. I turned and I said, and I breathed in that fucking machine, and I said, oh, fuck. Oh, no, I'm going to jail. And instantly the phone rang. Ring, ring, ring. The phone rang, like, instantaneously. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't answer it. And I waited, like, 15 minutes. I called them up, and I was like, hey, oh, my gosh, I'm so sorry. I used Listerine this morning. I know I'm not supposed to, but I did, and I'm sorry. And they're like, that was an awful high blood alcohol content for just Listerine. And I was like, oh, yeah, well, they're like, you need to come in and see us. And I was like, I hid for 3 days. I hid. Then Monday came around, Tuesday came around rather, and I went to jail. I took myself to jail because I didn't know what else to do. I called the lawyer. They said, turn yourself in. So I went to the jail, and I was like, they're like, why are you here? I said, well, I failed a breathalyzer, and I've been kind of hiding out for a few days, and yada yada. And they're like, fucking go home. We'll call your probation officer. Go home. You don't come and just arrest yourself. I was like, okay. So I went home, and that didn't hear from the POs. That night I went to AA, and I said, at the end when they do the chip club, I don't know if you've ever been, but they give chips to celebrate your first year or so. You get a chip every month, and then after that you get one every year, a metal medallion. The chip club came around, and I went up and I said, I've been picking up chips, and I've been picking up dirty chips is what some people like to call it, and I've been using, and I want to start over. I want a white chip, and I need a sponsor. I got a sponsor. I got 2 sponsors, actually. But this guy that turned out to be my best friend, one of my best friends in the entire world, Vic, he told me after I started working for him a while later, he's like, when you raised your hand and said I need a sponsor, he goes, I thought to myself, I'm not sponsoring that fucking weirdo. I mean, I had a lot more metal in my face. My nails were painted. Whatever. He's a pretty straight-laced dude. But yeah, I got 2 sponsors. And one of them was very religious. I'm an atheist. And I'm sober in AA. Atheist, sober in AA. Go figure. And he was very religious anyway. And he just was like, read the doctor's opinion. Read the doctor's opinion over and over and over. I wasn't getting anything out of it. So I got another sponsor who was very low-key, non-religious, non-descriptive about religion. Didn't care. He's my sponsor today. But yeah, I got honest with myself, and I got sober, and I talked to my probation officers and told them what was up, and they gave me another chance at life and getting my shit together, and I did. I got lucky. All the cards worked in my favor. I got honest. I got real. I got sober, and right now I'm going to pick up my daughter because I'm real and I'm sober. Unlike one time I remember picking her up and stopped by my buddy Joe's house, and I opened the door to get out, and literally, I wasn't driving, but I opened the door to get out on the passenger side, and I literally fell out the door onto the ground. And that night I was friggin' blacked out. I remember going and trying to buy booze, and they wouldn't sell me any. I flipped out on the lady behind the counter. Told her it was a woman that I used to buy drugs from. I was like, bitch, I used to fucking buy drugs from you, and you won't sell me fucking alcohol because you think I'm too drunk? So I should fucking turn you in for selling kids drugs, you fucking pig. And she's like, I'll call the cops, blah, blah, blah. She was gross. She was a pig. I shouldn't judge, but she was a gross person. So I jetted. I bolted out of there, and then my girlfriend wouldn't buy me any booze. I needed booze, it was like freaking midnight, and I was blacked out, and I was going to be up for a little while. I needed booze, and she wouldn't buy me any, so I grabbed the steering wheel. I'm grabbing my steering wheel right here. I grabbed her steering wheel while she was driving, and made us do one of those things, and she went to the police station, pulled into the police station. Jesus, this is right before I started trying to get sober. She went and she was banging on the door of the police station saying, help, help, let me in, help. She was going to have me arrested for that. Meanwhile, my daughter's in the back seat screaming, no, Jessica, no, Jessica, no. For some reason, the cops didn't answer the door. after she sat there banging for quite a while, and she came out, and that's all I remember. It didn't get violent or anything. If it did, I'd know that. But yeah, banging on the police station door, trying to have me arrested because I was blacked out drunk, picking up my daughter, grabbed the wheel, tried to swerve us into an accident because she wouldn't buy me booze, and I was so mad. How the fuck could you? How could you try to have me arrested, you bitch? Blah 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 blah. And looking back, she was right. She was right, and I was out of control. And my daughter screaming, "No, Jessica, no, no, no!" I mean, my poor kid. She was like 9, 8. She's 13 now, doing awesome in school. Pretty friggin' stable head on her shoulders because I got sober 6 years ago, right before it was too late, too late for her little brain to heal. And her brain is healing. She's still got issues, but her brain's healing. And I don't know, man. This is kind of weird. I'm gonna post it. Fuck it. Peace. Metal. Sobriety.